meeting is currently underway. In fact, amid the escalating tensions there between India and China and Ladakh, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar will meet with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi today. The meeting will take place at around 6 p.m. On the sidelines of SCO ministerial meet in Moscow. It may be the last chance to defuse the Ladakh standoff before harsh winter sets in. Earlier, foreign ministers of Russia, India and China held a luncheon meeting on the sidelines of Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting. In fact, Jaishankar's meeting with Chinese counterpart is the second such high-level interaction between the two sides in recent times. In recent days here, what's been happening, of course, this meeting comes out as will hold great significance. Last week, defense ministers of both sides, both countries, met in Moscow, but that failed to break ongoing stalemate in Ladakh and reduce any tension. Abhishek Balla for more on that. Abhishek, here we're looking at Jaishankar all set to be meeting with the Chinese counterpart. Will diplomatic level talks now hold waters, considering that the tensions between the two sides along the border area has escalated to such a point that all military level talks have failed? This is possibly our only chance to try and diffuse tensions on ground.
Well, Nabila, I can just put this in context like this, that, just a few days back, the two defense ministers had met in Moscow. And, what that talks resulted in was a further escalation. There was no de-escalation as we were hoping for. In fact, the Chinese army resorted to firing in areas north of Rezangla. And as far as the military dialogue is concerned, one can easily say that, it has completely failed. There hasn't been any breakthrough. The stalemate continues. And almost every day, the brigade commander level meetings are on. And in fact, now these meetings are getting, quite heated from both the sides, with both sides making it very clear that they are not going to budge. There have been 5 rounds of the corps commander level meetings, and what we are hearing is that there might be another round to discuss how things can be sort of diffused. But every time these discussions have taken place, it has only resulted in further escalation.
Right. Abhishek, do stay with us. We're going to quickly cut across to Vinay Shukla reporting from Moscow. Tell us a little more. Vinay, here we're looking at our External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar all set to meet with the Chinese counterpart. What's the agenda for today, if you can take us through? We hear that even earlier the meetings did not go too well. This time it could be our last chance.
Well, all eyes are on that meeting, which is going to take place, within about 45 minutes here in Moscow. And as you said, that there was a stalemate after Rajnath Singh's meeting with the Chinese defense minister. But since you see, we have to understand one difference in Chinese military and our military. Our defense minister is a political minister. Chinese is a technical minister. So here in Moscow, there are speculations that there will be some movement forward on the political agenda of diffusing the crisis. And possibly the local media has written that there won't be any breakthrough during this meeting. And they expect that the political dialogue will further continue.
Right. Vinay, thank you very much. Let's quickly cut across to Geeta Mohan joining us for more. Geeta, here we're looking at a meeting between S Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, with the Chinese counterpart. But nonetheless, it's a meeting that is in the backdrop of the SCO ministerial meet in Moscow. Is border tensions really the agenda of this meet, which is currently going to be held at 6 p.m.? Will that be extensively discussed, or is that going to be a topic on the sidelines?
Well, Nabila, that's the only issue that would be on the table this time around, given the heightened tensions between the two sides. On any other given day, India-China would have spoken on so many other areas that they should have been looking at and cooperating on. Economic to be the first, coronavirus pandemic, certainly one of the most important areas. But given the kind of expansionist strategy and policy that Beijing has adopted, it seems like that the India-China standoff at the border is going to be the focal point of Dr. Jaishankar when he meets with Wang Yi in just some time from now. They are, in about 20 minutes from now, going to begin with a luncheon meeting of the RIC, that's the Russia, India, China grouping. And in that luncheon meeting, given that Russia is going to be in the room, there could be some conversation about the tensions between the two countries and the two sides, but specific conversation on how to de-escalate, completely de-escalate and completely disengage is going to take place when the bilateral meeting takes place at around 6 p.m. India Standard Time. And the focus for India is going to remain the same. We know what happened during the defense ministers meeting, wherein both sides tried to make an attempt to de-escalate tensions, but ended up with the Chinese defense minister trying to tell the world that they told India off, whereas India tried to set the record straight by saying that, well, India conveyed to Beijing that unless and until there's a pullback by the Chinese troops, there can be no forward movement. And that's the message that Dr. Jaishankar also carries, that unless and until the Chinese troops move back and restore status quo ante of pre-April status, unless and until that really happens, there can be no forward movement in the India-China ties.
Absolutely, Geeta. This could be our last chance to have a formal conversation. These are diplomatic talks. Hopefully that will work, considering all the previous military level talks have fallen flat. Geeta, thank you very much for joining us. But here, let's quickly take you through the 3 days after defense ministers met. What was the real discussions? In fact, right after what happened? Right after, we see that, Chinese attempt to dislodge Indian post near the Rizangla. And then you have the Chinese with machete spears near the Mukpari peak. And then, of course, heated exchange between brigadiers on the hotline. Now, this is exactly what has ensued right after the diplomatic level talks. We're hoping that this ministry meet, in fact, external affairs ministers on both sides, their meet at 6 p.m. today will end the stalemate, which has been long-standing now. At least for the last 4 months, tensions have only escalated.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.